All right, we're staying with football on the SportsMax zone. The phenomenon that is artificial intelligence, which is the development of computer systems to carry out tasks that usually need human intelligence, has made waves in sectors such as music and other forms of entertainment, business, architecture and design. It was only a matter of time before sports was infiltrated by this technology, and in recent years has been prevalent in football, including at the World Cup and UEFA Champions League levels. Noting the rise of AI, Jamaica's first artificial intelligence company, Star Apple, has partnered with the Game of Life Foundation to use the technology to develop young players in the island. The goal is to create customized training and, in some cases, rehabilitation routines for these players, accessible to their coaches to enhance their profiles based on their strengths and weaknesses. Here to tell us more are Star Apple CEO Adrian Dunkley and Shamal Thomas, CEO of the Game of Life Foundation. And if Shamal looks a little familiar to you, that's because he is the brother of Shaneil Thomas, and he delivered great stuff for Jamaica College as part of the Triple Crown winning team in 2010 before, of course, his brother would have gone there and done tremendously as well. Gentlemen, how are you doing? It's an absolute pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, Adrian, let me start with you. First of all, tell me a little bit about your company. I mean, how long have you been around? Take me back from the very beginning.
Sure. So we've been around 3 years. So we started right as the pandemic hit, so perfect timing. Pretty much Star Apple was formed based on really my grandmother and how she approached. So she's a lifelong educator. She's all about social good and activism. So it's really about creating a company to honor her. She's still with us, but honor her before her passing and make her say the best that Jamaica can offer.
And what was the vision for the company when you started 3 years ago?
So the big vision was provide global level AI tools, techniques, but having Jamaicans drive it. So it's about us developing the tools and expertise locally and expanding out and exporting it just like we export entertainment.
Yeah, and then the Game of Life Foundation got into the mix as well. How did you form that partnership? Links, backups, I don't know. Just naturally, we focus on bettering the sports ecosystem. We focus on being athletics oriented and obsessed, providing them the best value, the best life, mentally, physically, emotionally. So it was a perfect fit for us to collaborate. Yeah, Shamal, how does Game of Life and Star Apple fit?
Human resources. You need people to play football. Game of Life has an abundance of youth players, and with the partnership with Star Apple AI and its technology, you will be able to put us in a position to identify from as early as these kids are introduced to the sport, the capabilities, what they need to work on, and so on. And as a result, that's why we're here.
Yeah. Break down for me exactly how you plan to use AI in the Jamaican landscape.
Yeah, so many different ways. We have 10 areas that we're focusing on, but the idea is, one, we start with identifying talent. What does it mean to be a talented footballer? Quantitatively, right? Second is providing them a platform to be seen locally and internationally. Third is focusing on developing customized training programs for them. And fourth, I won't get into all of them, but fourth is focusing on assisting the coaches. So you have one coach managing many teams, for instance, young persons. These tools aren't about replacing them, it's about giving them operational efficiency and allowing no child to basically be left behind. So everybody gets a customized coach effectively for them. And the big goal of what we're doing now is we're developing a metaverse effectively. And what we're trying to do now is take persons that are under 10 and forecast their entire career at 10 years old. And the idea of forecasting is we can forecast it, and then if it's not going the optimal way, we can intervene and improve the things that they're doing.
And explain for me how about, or what are some of the tools you would utilize in trying to forecast their careers?
So we're using first expertise, local expertise, international expertise. So we're looking at what all the clubs and the Premier Leagues are doing all over the world, but we're not copying their approaches. We're being inspired by it because some of them won't necessarily work in our ecosystem. They have more funds than us. We need to adapt how they do things. Then we're using drone footage, biometrics, sports science, data analytics, and AI to figure out what's the best way to get to success. And the idea is to provide a tool so that even before, for instance, the Reggae Boys goes up against somebody, we know what's going to happen before the match actually happens. And then we can...
Or you think you know what's going to happen.
Well, we're using experts, that's the thing. So we make sure we're using experts, but also algorithms to try and keep it as objective as possible, and then adapt and improve the strategy. So it's about being proactive instead of reactive.
Yeah. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, one of the things I realize is that this is being utilized as a recruiting tool for a lot of players. And so, Shamal, I suspect that this is where it becomes important for a lot of the players within your Game of Life setup.
Yes. So what we've done now is that we've made essentially Game of Life made donations to primary schools across the island, right? Since we started, we've made over 50 donations, 2 of those coming in Barbados. That is to show that our attention of impacting with Game of Life and Star Apple's approach, not only Jamaica, but also the region. So we plan on hosting tournaments, youth tournaments, where the AI will be implemented. From that, we'll be able to identify talents of like youth players, not only in Kingston, but right across the island first. How we plan on doing that is that we plan on hosting this tournament that we call the Game of Life All Peas tournament, right? So we plan on taking this in each and every single parish across the island to identify as many primary and prep schools across the island, and from that, pull talent.
Yeah, quickly, when you create a profile for a young player, can you break down some of the things that would be included in that profile as brought out through artificial intelligence?
Yeah, so basically like speed, agility, reflexes, hand-eye coordination, teamwork, compatibility, hundreds of metrics were actually utilized. So we did our first youth combine, was it 2 months ago?
No, last month.
Last month? Oh, okay. And it's hundreds of metrics. And the reason we collect all this data is we're looking at how coaches traditionally teach and train, but at the same time, there is some level of bias. You do certain drills because you were taught these are the drills you should do. You're trying to figure out what's the most effective. So the same techniques, look at NBA and how NBA has changed. And now it's just 3-pointers. 90s it was dunks and all of that. That was coming from scientists realizing there's more ROI taking 3-pointers than dunking. And it's adjusted the game for better, worse, whatever it is in the entertainment. But we're doing the same thing with the techniques. We're testing the coaches, the players, as well as the methodologies themselves.
And 20 seconds, how receptive have the coaches and players been, and how expensive is it to acquire your services with artificial intelligence? Okay,
so shout out to Development Bank of Jamaica. We just got funding, so thank you. Just wanted to plug that. We're really subsidizing everything. The focus is on Jamaica and improving it. If you want to help, you can also reach out. We need as much help as possible. We need as many minds as possible. So please reach out.
And the buy-in? What's the buy-in been like from the coaches and the players?
They love it. As a matter of fact, we're hosting the second staging of the Youth Football Combine May 12th of next month. Well, May 12th, yeah. So, the kids are looking forward to the coaches just the same, and we will get to everybody over time.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on the SportsMax Zone. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to how artificial intelligence will help with the growth and development of the sport in Jamaica, and hopefully soon you can take it Caribbean-wide, and we'll be seeing your work all over the region. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, Adrian Dunkley and Shamal Thomas, close to Chanel Thomas, isn't it? We take a break. We'll be back with more on the SportsMax Zone.
Stay with SportsMax on YouTube and follow us on all social pages for updates, news and entertainment.